Oh, wow.
I died.
Well,
Guys, I died.
Well, there was a reason we were in the rowboat, Nomi.
The boat.
Well, boat.
How did you die?
Because she went in the water like a fool. Oh gosh. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, so that would be the clip that is going to inspire today's art piece. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the Dream Stream here live for the Brush Hour. And I'm excited for today's project. Good morning over there on Kick. And it's going to be fun. Hey, Grape, I see you over there. Good morning, Tabitha and the crew. I like the person that's on time. She went into the water like a fool. Exactly, like a fool. Like a fool. Oh my goodness. I see DL was here bright and early, throwing everything but the kitchen sink at us. Eldridge, good morning. Thank you. I do intend to have a very good stream. Icanalus is here. And the rookie critic, good morning. I meant to message you. I need to message a couple of people. Larry Knight, got the eyes on the stream. You're just working, ain't we all? Aren't we all? If you're just popping in here, it's only a 14-second clip. I'm going to showcase what's going to be the inspiration for today's art piece and show you just how far I've come along. Oh, wow.
I died.
Well,
guys, I died.
Well, there was a reason we were in the rowboat, Nomi.
The boat.
Well, boat.
How did you die?
Because she went in the water like a fool. She did, like a fool, she did. So if you don't know, I have a gaming channel, and I'll put that, I need to put that into the chat for you guys to see. By the way, if you notice in the pinned comment, you can get Make Art Not Content shirt. Comes in black and heather gray. Super comfortable, very durable. We like it. Made by yours truly. And of course, I've updated some more stuff since I've transferred Etsy over to the fourth wall, working on bringing all the stickers and posters over there. Right now, I've been filling the shop with one-piece items. But yeah, I do have a gaming channel, and that's what that was from. So on Saturday nights, we try to play Escape the Backrooms. And if you don't know what Escape the Backrooms is, let me divulge. Is that the word? Hang on, let me maybe post this really quickly. So come over to the gaming channel and you can watch all this ridiculous nonsense where I yell at my friends often and a lot. Dreaming Tabitha Gaming there. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hey, it's the memes of destruction. So Escape the Backrooms is a pretty simple game. I do like the brilliance of this game. It's not necessarily complex. It kind of preys on psychological discomfort. Okay. I know that doesn't sound fun at all, but it's pretty straightforward. You and a group of your friends dressed in hazmat suits are dropped off into these uncomfortable spaces. It could be a space with like a hallway with a bunch of doors. It could be a parking, like one of those parking decks. A lot of people fear parking decks because they're creepy. They're very badly lit, all this kind of stuff. And you have to find certain things that will unlock a door to allow you to get to the next level, right? But there are monsters that are there, and the monsters are super weird. They're not very complex monsters. They're not like your typical gory vampires and blood dripping werewolves or anything like that. In fact, I did do, if you've been around for a while, this is one of the monsters. It's just a creepy smiley face that floats in the air, but it preys on you. It stalks you while everything is black. Like the lights will turn off and then you see these creepy smiles floating above you, and then they'll turn back on, and you only have X amount of time before you can get to the next lit place. So there's all kinds of crazy madness and things like that. Well, in this particular scenario, we ended up in this like pool spa, I don't know, like a gymnasium pool. I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. Everything's like white tile, which is kind of uncomfortable. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like these little things where to the average person, they put you in a place of discomfort. large rooms that serve no purpose with a certain aesthetic. It's brilliant. So was water and there was a raft, if you saw in the video. And so we're all trying to find these valves to raise the water. And Nomi somehow ended up in the water and she perished, right? And then I haven't edited the clip fully. I'll do that when I finish the art piece here. But Moss ended up perishing in the water as well. And so that's what inspired today's art piece. So Sevi and I were taking to the raft because that's part of the video as well. We were like, bye guys. And so we just took off, and Sevi is our fearless leader. So that's where this comes from. And me, I'm just always nervous whenever I play this game because I don't like scary things. So there's Nomi over here where she's been going to be floating in the water, and over to the side, we have Moss. Bottoms up, cake floats, right? Hey, Spider Unlimited. Hello. I was trying to say on YouTube that you look extra fresh this morning, but it's okay, great. It's totally fine. Thank you. I appreciate that. I washed my hair last night after a good jog. In fact, I need to hang on. Ugh. I really don't need these because I don't plan on playing music or anything like that. So that would be, let me just throw them to the side. So my quest for today is to try to color this, because you can see I've already got the inking and everything like that. I'm telling you, this right here that I have accomplished took 7 hours because it was so difficult to draw Sevi. And I'm still not totally thrilled with it, but it's the closest that I could come. And I think it's because our hair is like going in the wind and it's just different from what I've been drawing her. It's also difficult to recreate somebody in a caricature form from a different perspective. Like I typically have her from the side here. So now I have her facing forward, and that kind of threw me off. But I'm super happy with that. So I did start some of the coloring process. So I've got our raft. And then I'm trying to draw the water, color the water. This is very difficult. So I think for today, I want to get there. That looks like Sevi. Well, good. As long as it's recognizable. I still have to put the thing on their chest. Hey, Patrick August. Good morning to you. I still have to put the biohazard symbol on her chest and everybody else as well. But excuse me, I'm just going to go ahead and get one of my references here. Here is our lovely, lovely gang of people, specifically Sevi. Oops. Oh, no. I moved the wrong layer. Good thing there's undo. Whew. How's everybody doing? Just sleep okay? So let's go ahead and just color Sevi. Like, let's start where our strengths are, where we know we can go. And from there, we'll just try to work on it. So I'm making this as like a fun little comic strip, but I'm also going to use it as maybe a different kind of thumbnail for when we do our gaming streams. And then I'm going to be working on some other projects that people have asked me. Hang on. I see that the rubber thing has come off my cup. How inconvenient. There we go. Got to stay hydrated. Anyway, all right, so let's go ahead and start coloring. I am going to make sure that I'm on the right layer, wherever that might be. I guess I could just start at the bottom, but it's going to be kind of difficult with the water. This is where I'm going to find myself with a bit of difficulty. So I'm going to make a layer. I'm not using too many so far, but I can get rid of my reference layers here in a little bit. So let's start with Sevi's face. How's everybody doing? I decided to go with kind of this brownish color for the outline instead of black, because again, I did that kind of with this, but I meant it to kind of have like the uncomfortable yicky colors, They're still kind of complementary to the theme, but not necessarily the best ones that somebody would normally choose. I gotta make sure I get rid of that there. If you get a chance, watch Michelle and Natalie's live stream from last night. Michelle was having hair problems and she spent the whole stream trying to get it. I understand that 100%. I think every female's had that situation. I got to get to work on Michelle's project. Hopefully I can get that finished here soon. And how's everybody been? What's up? Trying to stay consistent on our little Tuesday mornings here, planning on bringing back the book. We started last week bringing back the book. It was the digital series, but I do plan on doing the traditional as well here soon. We started with our villain last week, and I really liked the direction that we were going in. Smoo was on the channel. We had a really great conversation. And then Nomi showed up about, 57 minutes late per years. Poor Nomi. She gets all the grief. But she brings it on herself. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? We had a good time though. And I got to message them. I don't know. I didn't hear back if we were having another golf tournament tonight. So you have to see about that. We were going to do, I colored the wrong thing. We were going to do teams. If you guys haven't watched our Golf with Your Friends stream, you're in for a loud time. A fun, loud time. Bob Ross can't draw this. Oh, I'm sure he could draw this. Just, it wouldn't be digital, right? Who knows? Who knows? We'll never know, I guess. We'll never know. Turbo Phil, hello. Welcome in. Are you new around these here parts? I don't remember seeing your name before. Here we go. And here we go. I know I got in a little bit of hot water for one of the shorts that I just released last night, where I was talking about anime, and I don't know, there's just something about anime that gets all the guys really upset when you talk about it in a certain way. And I wasn't trying to be mean, but I said I said what I said. I said what I said. You can always go check that out. It's only like a couple of minutes or seconds long, but I said what I said. And I'm Conroy, just not playing Pirates game right now. Oh, okay. Here we go. All right, we got Sevi's skin. This is the same color, right? It's amazing. Like, look how different that looks from here to here, but it's just because it's white in the background, and so it looks darker. So you gotta trust the process. Hope y'all play tonight. Your game streams are always a hoot. They are pretty fun. I will admit. They are pretty gall dang fun. Here we go. So Escape the Backrooms, it's not a game that I would have ever decided to play on my own. Because again, I don't like scary games, but if I play with my friends, I screamed a lot the last time, because there was also this level where it was, I'd like to sing my praises just for a second here. There was this level where it was a hotel, and we had to find TVs in different hotel rooms and bring them to an elevator, up the elevator, and then shine them, like point them at a window on a different level, on a different floor. Like I said, this game's not deep, but it's effective. And excuse me, while we were in search of these TVs, this like spider, not really, almost a spider creature that looked like if a spider had been drawn by a 5-year-old, big, thick legs, not a lot of definition. And then it just kind of had a weird white face that I don't know if it was a skull or if it was a mask. Who knows? It wasn't that great. But again, the game is meant to prey on the weird psychological aspect. Like, it makes you just uncomfortable enough, but it'll pop out of nowhere. You'll hear the shuffling. And then there was also this other creature over by some of the windows. And he taps on the window to try to get your attention. And if you get too close, he slays you. And so that's what happened to all of my friends. Sevi, Moss, and Nomi, they all perished, leaving me alone to do all the work. And I was like, I'm just going to off myself so that way we can all be this together. And they're like, no, you got this, Tabitha. You can do it. And I was like, I cannot do this. I don't want to do this. I don't know what by myself. So eventually I just muster up the courage and I become familiar with the monsters. And I took that team to victory. I carried the weight of that team on my shoulders. Yes, I did. was very proud of me. I didn't freak out. I mean, I did freak out, but like I carried the team to victory for that level. And I was like, make sure you guys remember that because this Tabitha carried the team. You know, gosh, what an arch. Looks so serious when it's colored darkly like that. But yeah, I carried the team. I did it. As freaked out as I was, after a while, the fear kind of leaves you and you just get sick and tired of monsters walking around in the hallway, monsters trying to kill you. So you just kind of go with the flow. And you're like, fine, come get me. I don't care. I'm actually like that in my real life as well. Like, I can be prone to fear, irrational fears and whatnot. And there just been some days where the devil will just come at me, you know, like when it's like really late at night and there might be like a door that's open and it's really dark. These kinds of things are that tend to scare me. Like they if I let my creativity, my imagination get out of control, it can take over and cause fear. There have been just some times where I'm like, I don't care. I'll just talk back to the demons. I'll be like, I don't care. Come get me. I am too tired for this nonsense. Whatever. And that gives me like this weird kind of confidence. Like, I'm too tired. Like the tiredness has given me confidence. Just leave me alone. I don't have time for your nonsense. I need to go to bed. Can you ASMR while drawing? No. Lawrence Knight, you handled the back rooms like a G, Tabitha, especially that last game. Super Dude was no match for you. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to get the recognition I so richly deserve because that was rough. Which monster did I name? Mosey? The spider. Me and Mosey, we're cool now. Maybe I'll make a picture where I'm riding him like a horse or something like that because, you know, I think he's just misunderstood and he was just looking for a friend. Mosey. They wanted to name him Spidey. Ridiculous. Who does that? Ridiculous. All right, here we go. We're drawing Sevi's natural blonde hair. She freaked me out the other day. I thought she'd gotten her hair done. She had like purplish hair, said she had her hair all ready or something like this. And I thought she went out and dyed it. I mean, to each her own. I'm not saying she looked bad, but it took me by surprise because wait, what? Sevi, what? And it was a wig. She was wearing it for, I think, one of her tabletop games as her part of her character. So way to get on board. Looks like I'll be commissioned here soon to do some characters for a tabletop game. That's going to be exciting. That's going to be fun. I've got a couple of commissions coming in. Excited to work on them. Super excited. I like working on my own projects, but sometimes like the cool thing about commissions, like there is a little bit of a stress behind it because you're working for somebody else. But oh shoot, Sevi's eye. Because you're working for somebody else, but it's really great because it takes you to where you don't have to think. I mean, you do think, but like you don't have to wonder, like, all right, what am I doing here? Like, for example, with my own stuff, like I have to come up with the vision. I have to think about the colors. I have to think about the message behind it. Whereas when you work for somebody else, they just do it for you. You know, they're like, I want this, this, and this. You're like, all right, I got you. And, you know, it's nice when people give you creative liberty to kind of put what you think would be best to bring it to life. But overall, it's just like, oh, I can work, I can draw, but I don't have to stress out and overthink the story and all this. Like I said, this took, I was actually working on a Murky Divers picture. Thank you for the follow. I love girl feet. Behave over there, okay? Like we keep it chill around these here parts. Welcome in. That would be funny if you do a drawing of you riding a Mosey. Yeah, we'll see. You know, some ideas are just really fun ideas, but they're not like, you know, magic, if you will. And so what was I saying? I was working on a Murky Divers one, and I was basing it off of, did any of you watch our last Murky Divers? Hey, Logical Spark, good morning. Did anybody watch our last Murky Divers expedition? Raise your hand if you did. Where Nomi was, of course, eating something. And so she was on the stream and she'd gotten food and she was eating, I don't know, French fries or chicken nuggets or something like that. And Nomi, like, we hit something. So if you don't know what the point of Murky Divers is, you're like trying to recover evidence at the bottom of the ocean from experimental labs and stuff like that. And you're on the submarine and you have to get from point A to point B. And sometimes you can hit rocks or you can hit other things that are floating around inside the water. And it's not good. And so your ship needs to become under repair. And we're all grabbing our equipment and we're like freaking out, like, oh no, the water's pouring into the submarine. Everybody do this. Everybody's like freaking out. Maria's brand new still to the game. Where's the stuff? What do we do? And Sevi's yelling and Moss is going chaotic here and there. And then I go into this one room and I find Nomi literally just floating, like lying on her character, is just lying on her back. And I know, and I could hear it. Nomi was just eating. She's just letting all the rest of us do the work. We need to be under repairs. Water's pouring in, and she's just lying there, letting the rest of us take over the ship and try to repair it. And she's sitting there eating Wendy's chicken nuggets or something like that while we're all possibly dying. So I was going to make a little comic strip about that, and I just haven't fully fleshed out the idea. But oh my goodness, look who it is. It's Dom H, and it's not just Dom H, it's Dom H and 10 of his friends. Thank you, Dom H. Number one, it is so good to see you because, well, no, hang on. I'm not sure how to do this. I'm going to do this in the best order that I can think of. It is so good to see you, first and foremost, because I was actually thinking about you the other day, and I thought, I haven't seen Dom around on the Instanet for a little while. And maybe it's just because I'm not everywhere. I kind of keep to myself and everything like that. But I was thinking about you the other day, and I was like, I hope Dom's doing well. Maybe I should message him. And then here you are. And then secondly, thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you. You are now part of the top 10 people in the chat. And he's gifted 10 memberships to people. So you have access to coloring pages and some other cool stuff behind the scenes for YouTube members only. We also, by the way, if you like my shirt, you can get that pinned comment. It's Nomi. She says, Dom in the chat. Nomi, I was just talking about our escapades. Hang on. And how this was you just a couple of days ago. I will tell you what, guys. Drawing this, I was laughing and kind of uncomfortable at the same time because it just kind of hits a little different when you draw your friends deceased. I thought it was super funny, but also I was like, this is making me a little bit uncomfortable, which is the point of Escape the Backrooms. And oh my goodness, Mountain Mutt, hello, and Maria, good morning. By the way, nobody checked, nobody let me know. Are we doing golf stream tonight? Are we tournamenting? Are we on teams tonight? Because we had talked about doing teams. Tap the pop his cake in the air. I figured it could be a sponge cake, and that means it would float, right? Nomi, you haven't seen the video. Oh wow.
I died.
Well,
guys, I died.
Well, there was a reason we were in the rowboat. Nomi.
The boat.
Well, boat.
How did you die?
Because she went in the water like a fool. Like a fool. Oh, Patrick August, I'm sorry, I didn't see. Do you do other streamers drawings? Do you mean like what do you mean by that? Do you do other streamers drawings? Like, do I recreate other people's artwork? No, not typically. I might glean from other people. She's yelling at me. I was crossing the bridge. Well, you did a bad job of it. And then moss fell off of the wall. The full video of that scenario will come to light here in the future once this yeah, I know. We are golfing. Okay, I'll reach out. We're gonna reach out to RizKit and find out. Okay, well, hey, everybody needs a break, but you have been missed. You have been missed. You're trying to cover up a crime in Murky Divers. Nomi drowned like a fool, like a fool. That's right, she did. And then she had the okay. Let me see. I'm gonna go back. I'm sure reveal. So this is like the process of me trying to draw Nomi doing absolutely nothing while the rest of the ship is in chaos and she's chewing on some, no, that's another project. I'm not totally satisfied with it. So that's why I decided to do the escape the back rooms. So yeah, I figured, sponge cake floats, right? So it's okay. Let me bring back my reference for Sevi here, my color reference. Let's make sure we're on the right thing. So that was really fun. It was really a fun session. It was hilarious as well. I love playing these games and having the opportunity to yell at my friends. Out of disappointment and anger. It's really stress relieving to be able to yell at people and not get in trouble. So, you guys should try it sometime. 100%. Schools now, so we are digitalized. Yeah. There are still a lot of people that do traditional artwork. A lot of people still paint by hand, draw by hand. I've been meaning to do that. I got some markers recently from a subscriber, and I also got some proper, I think it's called like anime paper or something like that. And I want to give that a try. It has been a long time since I did a chibi traditionally, and I think I need to go back to my roots and give that a try because I don't want to lose that, right? I don't want to lose that. And it's important. And just to see how far I've come, and it's going to be really frustrating to draw for sure in color because of the fact that you can't undo. And I'm so used to that if I make a mistake now, you just tap the little button to the side. And so it's more of like muscle memory. It's not like I can't erase things. It's just once you've been doing something a certain way for a long period of time. Oh, this looks a lot better. This looks a lot better now. Look at these amazing lashes. Like they're just amazing. Yeah, it was hilarious. I had a lot of fun with that. Of course, absolutely. By the way, you can find Maria over on Kick, and she does gaming as well. She's been playing Murky Divers and golf with us, and then she's also been doing the Legend of Zelda? Which one is it? Tabitha, when was the last time you did any finger painting? With Krista when she was here in the studio last year. Was it last year or early this year? I think it was last year. We painted a Disney castle, if I'm not mistaken. That was the last time I finger painted. Yeah, but let's see what else we got to do. We did her eyes. Now I just need to do her top here in this sickly yellowish green color. Very unnerving, very uncomfortable, very, very practical choice for such a situation. Here we go. I don't know if any of you are seeing my messages twice, but I send them again because I keep getting an error message the first time I send them. You mean through YouTube, or I'm assuming you mean here through YouTube. I don't see them twice. I only see them once. I know all the platforms seem to be having some issues. I heard that StreamYard was having some issues. So far, I'm okay. Unless there's something I missed and I just can't tell, you guys let me know. But so far it's good. Here we go. And we are coloring the pants. Yeah, it took me probably 3 or more hours to get Sevi's character drawn. Link to the Past, that's what it is. To get Sevi's character properly drawn. It's a pose I've never really done before. And so I know it's a little weird, but I figured it's just weird enough to get the point across. And then it's, you just, like I was saying the other day when Biggles was on the channel, it's like focus on the important thing. The important thing about Sevi is right here. These are the most important things. It's the finger pointing, and of course it's the face. Everything else is like second place. Like you need it to complete the drawing. You need the body to complete the idea, the drawing, but the important pieces are the face and the finger. That's what's displaying the story and moving it along. So I try not to get caught up on the details of things that don't matter. Everything matters as a whole, but as far as the storytelling, there's only certain things that are an absolute. So there you go. Got to bounce my second last day in the office. Oh, and I don't want to leave with a bad 100% leave with a good reputation, Maria. Have a great rest of the day. All right. I need to get this color for her little bag here. It's coming along so nicely. I don't know why. I know it's just Tuesday. I was about to ask, what are you guys' plans for the weekend? But it's not even close to the weekend. It's not even close. I'm going to have my other reference here. There's Normie. There's Norm. Wait, where'd Normie go? Oh, I have her laying sideways so that I could use her for... Let me get the color of her glove. There we go. And we go back to Sevi. Finish the rest of this. I guess it's the same color as her belt. It just looks so much darker, but that's obviously because it doesn't have any highlights yet. Here we go. I appreciate all of you guys. Hope you're doing well. Thank you always for being here and supporting the channel in many, many ways. Trying to be here for you guys, being a little more faithful with content and streaming. It gets a little overwhelming with the whole YouTube game where it's like you want to grow, you want to build your audience, you want to be faithful and dedicated to the people that are always here. But it's like, how do you reach new people and everything? And one second. Always fun to have a coughing fit. Okay. But it's hard, so I've kind of moved things around and like just trying to figure out what takes up my time. I think this is Sevi's foot, so we're just going to color this in and pretend like that was on purpose. We'll just fill in the blank here. I can't wait to do the water. I'm nervous and excited about the water because water is not a strength of mine. It's not something I've ever done digitally, I don't think, ever before. And water can be tough, but I have a pretty good little drawn out tutorial over here on the side. And so hopefully, it'll all come to pass. Yeah, it looks like a foot. Here we go. All right. So Sevi's almost done. Let's do the giant finger. I kind of copied this pose from when I did Moss. If you guys saw, I don't know. I don't think I have that picture here. No, I just have the one with Joe. But you see, I'm trying to work on these, like, what do they call it? Not depth perception. I always get a hard time remembering what exactly it's called when forced perspective. That's what it is. Forced perspective, like that just giant thing or other body part that's out there. I kind of sort of did that with Mr. Fantastic with his foot, just kind of make him look a little stretchier, trying to get better because a lot of my stuff was just kind of flat. But I really do think I need to redraw this. This was like one of my attempts at drawing water. It's not great. This is when I was first really getting into digital art and trying to figure out like what's my style. And so it's like it's all over the place. It's a big mix of everything. So maybe I need to redraw that one day, have a better plan for how that works. But fire and death. There you go. That's where it's at. All right, let me see. Where did I stop? But yeah, just trying to add more forced perspective. Become more familiar with the things that I struggle with. So that's why Sevi has this pose. Even with Nomi, well, you can't see her. Hang on. Let's see if we can move. Sevi up a little bit or just shrink her. So I know all jokes and whatever, but even with Nomi's little character here, this is not a pose I've ever drawn before. And the same with Moss's character over here. I know it's all kind of funny and it's a silly pose and whatnot, but it's a great way to practice these poses by doing these little comic strips because it forces me to make things a little more goofy, to try different positions, try different angles, recreate things like the same way with Sevi. Oops, where excuse me, I've only drawn her twice from this perspective, from this angle, and now I am trying to change it a little bit. I don't think it's perfectly there. I think her nose is a little bit different. Eyebrows might be a little bit thicker. I think they may be a little bit more rounded than what I did in the original one. But I think, it's again one of those things, as long as you can tell who the person is and you have fun with it and you do your person justice. Like, I'm not trying to make fun of my friends. It's more of like just being silly and having a good time. But it's a really great exercise. Even with my character here, I copied basically the head and the eyes and everything from a different cartoon that I drew with this character. But the pose, the freaked out expression, these are things that I've never done before. And so all of this was a really great practice into new areas, new fields of study. So I'm really enjoying these little comic strip things where it's pushing me beyond what I understand, what I know, get me out of the familiar. Because most of my chibis, when I first started, if you've been around for a really long time, I don't have a picture of it. Most of my chibis were pretty much just always the same, very stagnant, always the same pose, pretty much always in the same perspective. Excuse me. And so I'm so happy. I think at the end of the year, I'm going to do a compilation of all of the different characters that I've done and how much I've grown. Even with my Sydney Sweeney and my Gavin Casalegno one, these are poses that I've never done before, and they turned out really fun. Some of it's like really exaggerated, and again, it's like focusing in on what is important and what is not, just to convey the whole message. It's been really, really fun journey, that's for sure. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, Achilles Jones with the €5. Hey, what's up, Tabitha? When can we expect your first comic? Greetings from Germany. I hope you are doing well over there in Germany. I know I wish the best for Germany. It's not as great as it once was, but it could maybe become that once again. But just because Achilles Jones decided that today's no longer Tuesday, for this last minute, for this last section of the Brush Hour, it is currently.
Today is Friday. Today is Friday.
Part of the top 5 people in the chat. Thank you for making this little portion of the morning Friday. I hope you're doing well, Achilles Jones. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I got like the morning phlegm. I don't know if it's from jogging. I went jogging last night. Sorry, I get this little fly that every now and then comes in my face. And I was doing really good. I'm getting much better. I'm getting faster at going my mile, but it rained last night and it was very humid. So I don't know if that had something to do with it's like you're wheezing, let's finish Sebi's hand. I'm great, man. It's been a little while. So you have a new avatar, Achilles Jones, don't you? And maybe that's why at first I was like, your avatar had a glow up. We live for the glow up. All right. Here we go. Now I have a question for the chat. It's for the men. Right. It's for the men, but the women feel free to answer too. But did anybody else see this video on, I don't know if it's all over the internet, but if you're on Twitter, there was a video that was circulating about this Mormon TV show, right? This dating reality TV show. And Nomi says, I refuse to be left behind. Money's for coffee. I don't have like I should get a little coffee video. You know what? All you get for $1.99. So they're going to try to take these. Is a little taste of Maria. Just kidding. Thank you. Coffee will do. Right now, I've got coffee in a mug. Maybe one of these days. Oh, I did send a picture of my coffee to Nomi. I went to a little Asian bakery place and they had tiramisu coffee. And it came in a cup that was about this big. And the top is it's plastic and the top was shaped like a little bear and it had the little ears and everything. Super cute. Okay, anyway. I have a question. I have to give you the background, okay? But yes, it was a Mormon dating show, and there's a curtain drawn in between the guys and the girls, and the women. It was only a snippet, right? But there was this one gal that stands up, and I'm not going to give you the description of what she looked like because the gentleman on the other side could not see her, so that's an important factor before shaping an opinion. But I am curious to know because I do understand that men and women hear things and they understand things differently. By the way, I don't know. I feel like I just didn't say thank you well enough to know me.
Oh wow.
I died.
Well,
Guys, I died.
Well, there was a reason we were in the rowboat. No me.
The boat.
Well, boat.
How did you
Bobo.
die?
Because she went in the water like a fool, like a fool.
There you go. That's my thank you. Like a fool. Anyway, all right. Let me get back to this. So these men are listening to this woman talk. And she's young. She's like, my name is so-and-so. I'm 24. And she said she has a lot of energy. Like you can tell she's nervous, but she's happy about what she's talking about. And she's like, I love going on adventures. I love traveling. I love to hike and, you know, all the stuff that goes along with that. And then she said, I'm up for any adventure. I love going to themed parties. That's totally my jam. She said, I'm going to Australia. She's like, I just got certified to be a scuba diver and I'm going to Australia to, I guess, go off of the barrier reef or something like that. And she's just super excited. And she's like, and I'm looking for an adventure buddy. She's like, and I'm looking for an adventure buddy, somebody to share with the, you know, like I'm paraphrasing, but somebody to share these adventures with. And what then is supposed to happen is that one or more of the men are supposed to stand up and basically that's their sign of saying, yeah, I would go on a date with her. I would give her a try. You know, I'd see where this goes. And all of the men were kind of like laughing. Like she can't see this, but we could. All the men were laughing and kind of giving each other the side eye. And they're all young. They're all in their 20s or so. And they're just kind of laughing and chuckling and whatever. And nobody stood up. Now, it also needs to be noted that the woman, I think she had a slight lisp. And she, had a bouncy voice. I mean, you know, so maybe that's something to go into it. But I was reading the comment section where, and you should never do that, but I did. I was reading the comment section where most of the men were saying, yeah, no, what a red flag. Sounds like a bunch of money. She sounds like a person that just is accused to dad's credit card. Like pretty much all of the comments were along these lines where it's like, heck no, she just expects me to pay for all of her trips. She's just expecting me to cash out for her hobbies. And then one of the other things was too, is like, yeah, she said adventure buddy doesn't sound like somebody who's ready for a real relationship. She sounds like somebody who just wants me for my money and for somebody to carry her bags. And then I was reading through this. And of course, you know, I get a little upset because like, wow, these guys are really mean. But then I take a step back and it's like, okay, men and women process things differently. And I did read a couple of people, and I really appreciate them trying to like explain. There were a couple of mature men in the comment section that were trying to explain, you have to understand that to the men's comprehension, all they hear was, I want to travel to expensive, I want to travel, which equates to expense. She said adventure buddy. She didn't say partner. She didn't say future husband. She made no mention about household duties or what she would bring to the table as a wife. And from what I understand, the question was posed to her, tell us a little something about yourself. So, that was the thing where it's like, well, she told them what her interests were and what she likes to do. So maybe she just got nervous and forgot to mention it. Who knows? It's hard to tell. But I appreciate some of the men that were trying to explain why this could be seen as a turnoff, because I just genuinely didn't understand. And that's when it was like, okay, the difference between men and women. When she said adventure partner, adventure buddy, I was just thinking to myself, yeah, that would be really nice. Like, it's not meant to say I want to keep a man at a distance and only use him for his money, but it was more of like, I want a buddy. I want somebody fun to go with me and partake on these journeys with me. Women are all about quality time. And so for them, having an adventure buddy, like somebody who wants to go with them on adventures, that's how I interpret it. But apparently to the male ear, this equates to somebody who is not committed, somebody who is not quite ready to settle down. And they were saying she just really, as a wife, brought nothing to the table. And I was like, oh my gosh, wow, we are really hearing two different things. So is that the case? Like when a man hears that a woman has a bunch of hobbies like travel, like a lot of guys were saying too, travel is a big no. Like they said, travel is a huge red flag. Any woman that loves to travel is just using you for your money. And I thought, that's horrible. That's not true. I love to travel. I mean, like the other thing is too, is like this, in my opinion, it was like this projecting of that. Well, and that was, I saw a lot of women were arguing like she apparently is funding these projects herself. So, because a lot of guys were like, well, where's she going to get the money for going to all these places? No, thank you. And it's like, well, if she's doing them right now, then clearly she has the money to do this without having to rely on a male person anyway. So, I'm assuming she has a job and whatnot. So there's that. But it was just like, dear God, like, why is everybody jumping down her throat saying she's not like, okay. Mama says, I saw it. She was lovely, but I do not like travel. Not for the reasons given on social media, though. Otherwise, I would have no problem. And I did see that, I don't know how old you are, Mountain Mutt, but I did see that there were a lot more, older, more mature, more seasoned men that said, if I weren't married and I was younger, I would go for a girl like that. She sounds like a lot of fun. And that seemed to be the difference, where you had men who were older versus younger. Like the younger ones were just like, oh, she's being selfish. She's a red flag. She just wants to be self-indulgent. She doesn't care about you. And then the older people who have been married for a while were like, yeah, she probably should have worded it differently. There's nothing wrong with what she said. Like they seem to be able to see past the initial thing. And I guess that's just what marriage, or at least what age will do for you. But it was like, man, it kind of made me lose heart in humanity a little bit, where I'm like, everybody's so mad at this girl for being and saying she's a red flag. I'm like, she didn't talk about debt. She didn't talk about shopping for hours. She didn't say all I want is a guy to hold my purse while I'm, shopping or something. Like, and some guys will do that for their woman. If that's fine. There you go. But it wasn't like she gave these superficial kind of answers. She didn't say, I just want to sit at my house and watch TV dramas all day. She's out enjoying life. She's out doing things. And she didn't say she has to travel every single day of her life. She's just saying she loves to travel. I think a lot of people do, and they would do it more if they had the money. But when she can, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. I just based off of what she said. Risk, it says, I think it depends on the man's level of financial comfort. If he's broke, of course it's a red flag. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's also too, it's like this projection of, like some of these men were projecting on to like, she's just going to drain your bank account. Well, I don't know. I would think that if a type of woman that does like this, she knows how to save money to get what she wants. Because if she's able to get certified and travel to freaking Australia, that takes some savings. She either has a really great job, which she's only 24. She either has a really great job, or she knows how to save her money. So I understand it being like a red flag. I don't know. Also, when I hear red flag, it means that this woman is just like a yicky no woman, versus I guess it's just a warning. I don't know. The part about wanting them to pay, it would depend on her phrasing. The other part, it could be she's the type that wants to know a person before a relationship, and she's just thinking about the next steps before reaching a relationship phase. I mean, most of the time, most women, especially mature women, are very patient in that. Like they don't want to, they it sounds terrible. You want to put your man through a test phase, and not like you're testing like a car, but it's more of like boundaries for your heart. You want to keep yourself safe. So you kind of wait, like, okay, is he going to be kind to me? I'm spending the rest of my life. I would think men do the same thing for women. Like, is she going to be decent? What's she bring to the table? You don't want to just jump into it right away because you both are doing like, that's why dating is a testing period. Like, are we compatible? You know, but it was just, I don't know. It was just really, really, you didn't have to disclose your age, but thanks. Hello, Komi go on? If I was in my 20s, I would have stood up. I love doing all that stuff and would be nice to share that with. See, that's, and I think that's how she was meaning that. Like, I want an adventure buddy. I want somebody to share and make memories with. I don't think she was saying, I just want somebody to follow me around. And plus, they were also saying that this was a Mormon show, and that's a big difference. And that so typically they stay within a certain kind of idea of life choices. And so for the younger men, it may have been difficult for them to get on board of what she's saying because she wasn't describing a traditional wife. Very possible. Of course, when I was looking at the guys, some of them weren't displaying traditional Mormon attributes either. So, you know. Yeah, I think hearing this depends on circumstances. This was a Mormon dating show. Those men have a certain expectation. There you go. If a female friend somewhere in a coffee shop, it sounds different. Yeah. Yeah. And I agree. I'm not really hating on the TV show so much. It's more about their comment section that followed, where it was just men were hounding this woman for wanting an easy cash grab. And it was like, wow. Do men really think about that when women talk about their hobbies? Not skipping ads so you get paid. Oh, do those come on live streams? Oh, fascinating. I didn't know that. So yeah, it was just it was an interesting thing. Like I said, it was a little bit disheartening. And I do understand that social media is not real life, and that a lot of the people that are on there, they vent and they want to talk a big game, and so they can sound really cool in front of their friends. And some people are just bitter that maybe they had a bad relationship experience, and so they think all women or all men are all the same. But I was just like, okay, I think this is another one of those instances where pride has come up. In this particular instance, it was with the men. It's not always the case. Obviously, it's clearly with the women too. In this particular instance, it was with the men, where it was just like, I refused, the younger ones anyway, or the ones that are just butthurt about life, where I refused to see what she was trying to say, and I'm only going to think about money. And it was like, that's really, really sad. Like, let's humble ourselves and remember that we all, when women remember that men think differently, and when men remember that women think differently, and we comprehend information differently, it helps heal the world instead of being mad at each other all the time for stuff that was a misunderstanding. Of course, social media is not the place to vent all of your struggles, but dear God, it was just a little alarming. What's the name? I have no idea what the name of the Dade show is, Grape. It was literally just a snippet from the show. All the Twitter people are Tate bros who have truly reached a new level of victim mentality at Troubled Green. I can agree with a lot of that. Social media has ruined both men and women in our perspectives and views about life and reality. And there are a lot of butthurt men on Twitter that are looking for because they say the misery loves company, and you got lots of your weird crying feminist women out there, and they just find each other and they think that they're special. Rejection is very high, and it comes with women. Rejection is high with women? Well, I mean, I don't know. If you're asking out a bunch of women and they all turn you down, then of course. But if you ask out one woman and she rejects you, that's not really, you can't really say the same thing, right? Hayden Wayne, the West has a massive problem in both men and women. Lots of people have become, yes, exactly. We tend to refuse to believe that men bring something beneficial to the table and women bring something beneficial to the table. And when I say that, men as men bring something good to the table, women as women. And when we have to stop, men need to stop trying to make women men, and women need to stop trying to make men women. We are meant to complement each other. So women tend to soften the rough edges that men have, and men tend to, I would say, toughen women. Like it's meant to, there's a whole point with the whole yin yang thing. Neither is perfect. God has given both of us blessings in the gender that we are. And it is difficult sometimes to get along because we think differently. But we need to just acknowledge that, yes, we are different. And yes, we need to learn to get along. When men are not always right, women are not always right. But there are certain areas in life where women are, I don't want to say more right, but have a better understanding of something. And there are other areas in life where men have a better understanding of things. And as adults, we're supposed to understand that. But social media has made us all idiots. Hayden Wayne, I hope you are doing well, man. I hope life is treating you great. Does YouTube take a cut of your membership? I probably, yeah, because it's a platform that's here to make money. And so every platform that you have, they always take a percentage out of everything. Everyone is toxic in their own ways. The task is finding a complementary toxin that becomes a potion and not a poison. Whew. I don't know, man, those are some rough words. I don't like to think of myself that way, Risky. Everyone is toxic. But I mean, I get you. I think it's just, I've never heard it worded that way, but you're right. Like with our fallen natures, with sin and I guess you could even translate it. Everyone has sin in their own way. The task is finding well, no, I can't wear that. There's no complimentary sin. I'll just take Risket's word for what he said. No, but you're right. Everybody's got problems, and you have to find the right person who is willing to put up with your problems and help you through your problems. This is very on point, Risket. And we've just not taught graciousness. We've not taught patience. We've not taught real love. We just don't know what real love looks like anymore. My parents always told me love is an action word. It's not necessarily just a feeling. So, good morning to you all. Some dude using a paint roller to draw. I don't know what that means. People need a good, yes, they do. They do. They do. People need to stop being so selfish and self-centered and realizing that the world doesn't just revolve around you. And if you got butt hurt by one person, accusing everybody of being that way is just absolutely narcissistic, right? A woman hurt you, I'm sorry, but that woman doesn't speak on behalf of all women. There's still a good few out there, There's still a good few out there. And no, they're not unicorns. It's just maybe you need to go outside from time to time, get off the internet, and talk to people. And the other, it is too. And look, it's not easy for women. It's not easy for men. Women have been trained to believe this, that, and the third about men. Men have been come to believe this, that, and third about women. And it's really, really hard. And I get it. Men don't like rejection. Women don't either. But like, it's very personal if a man puts his feelings out on the line for a woman. Totally understand that. It's also, if a woman commits to a man, it's really difficult to let that go. And, that's why they say life's not easy. Life's not fair. But it is what it is. This weird Western ideology that formed up has infected the minds of the average person. People have unreasonable expectations and don't think about what they are able to offer one another. Exactly. I think a good quote that goes along with that is with John F. Kennedy when he said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." Now, it is important that your country, or also your partner, your person, bring something for you. You're not going to get into a relationship with something that hurts you and is bad to you. But coming into the selfless mindset of, how can I make somebody else happy? How can I make that other person happy? How can I make my wife? How can I make my boyfriend? How can I make them happy today? Thinking less of yourself. And it's just one of those things. When you think less of yourself, it gets reciprocated. Other people start being nice to you, and you have to find that balance. And, it's a weird Western ideology that we've come into this place where all men are evil, all women are evil. And it's like, that's not true. It's not true. What I sense is that family in general, exactly 100%, the devil is out to destroy families, because families are a beautiful thing. They're the pillar of foundation. They're a foundation. They're a pillar in communities. And when you don't have family, you have problems. Everything's messed up. And it's a struggle for both sides. It's a struggle for the children. And teaching kids that they're unwanted, teaching kids that they're a burden, teaching people that women only want you for your money, teaching people that men are always cheating. These are toxic. These are toxic mindsets that benefit nobody but the devil. 100% he enjoys that, because these are things that God instilled, God created. He put a blessing on top of it. And Satan has come into our communities and told a complete lie, because the Bible says he's a father of lies, and he's telling the women, men will always cheat on you, never trust them. And he's telling the men, women, never trust the women because they only want you for stuff. And children will never be a blessing to you. They rob you of your time. Oh, it's terrible. The absolute best thing a person can do for their social life is to turn off social media and make real friends. Yeah. Look, the internet's great. It's a wonderful blessing from God as well. And the devil has taken it and used it for heinous purposes. The Lord leads by example, and we must follow the example to inspire the next generation. It's just, the woman I was going to marry had anger issues from trauma she'd been through. I'd gone through similar things and was able to help her, being understanding and gentle, but not a pushover. Yes, exactly. We're meant to complement one another in our struggles. We're not meant to think, oh, I've struggled, I need you to baby me. There might be some areas where babying is needed, but it's not. It's not really babying. It's just a more gentle approach, especially if somebody's dealing with trauma. You can't just always expect them to just put on their big girl pants and be what they need to be. You can encourage them. Like, what do they say? You can catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. You can encourage somebody and work with somebody. And sometimes you need a kick in the pants, but work with somebody to be a better version of what they are. See, that's the thing. That's a godly attribute. There's a song that, maybe a lot of people have heard of "Oh Danny Boy," but then it was taken and put some Christian words to it, and oh, it's so beautiful. It might get me in the feels. I might watch out. I might become a woman and act like a woman on the stream. But it's part of it's just also just being a grateful human. But there's a part in that song. See if I can get through it. That says, I shall forever lift my eyes to Calvary. If you don't know what Calvary is, that's the place. And the song says, the place where Jesus died for me. And when you really understand what that means, I shall forever lift my eyes to Calvary to view the cross where Jesus died for me. How marvelous the grace that caught my fallen soul. And here's the line. Gets me every time. He looked beyond my fault, and there he saw my need. Like, he sees past the bad stuff that we're either doing or have the potential to do, and sees the potential of the good that we can be for ourselves, for other people in this world. He looks beyond that with love, with patience. Now, God doesn't leave us there. Like, the Bible is full of times where he's like, okay, I need you to stop doing this. It'd be beneficial if you stop doing this. And we are no longer going to be thinking and acting like that because you're a child of God. Okay. Okay. Sometimes he will have to, teach us a lesson or two. He doesn't leave us in our faults and our failures, but he takes us as we are because he sees that we can be so much more. And the same in a relationship where Both people are fallen. Both people, when you say we're not perfect, but we're trying to do our best. And that's why it's important you find the right person that you both can do your best in, and that you can see the potential within each other to be better versions of yourself. And Riska says, hallelujah. And there you go. She helped me by holding me to a standard and making me be more responsible. Exactly. And that's not easy to do because, you could have easily just been offended, be like, excuse me, who do you think you are? You've got this problem, this, and this. You don't need to be the one that's telling me what to do. Or you can think about it and say, okay, well, I know she's got her problems too, but she's not wrong. It's humbling ourselves. And we've lost the beauty and the pain. We focus so much on the pain of humility that we no longer see the beauty in humility in our culture, in our society. And so if we could bring back humility, I know they always bring back shaming. Yeah. I mean, to a degree, I get what people are trying to say, but it's just well, obviously as a believer, I'm bring back God, God will fix this thing right up, because you don't even have to be a Christian to really understand and see that a lot of the principles in the Bible are just good morals. They're just good, sound morals. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Don't steal. Don't covet after your wife, your neighbor's wife. Don't take advantage of somebody's hospitality. These are just good general principles. We bring these things back, and I mean, it's just how it is. There's a verse also that says, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. And I think a lot of people look at that only in one sense, where it's oh, they just want to push religion on the kids and everything like that. I understand where you're coming from with that, but we look at it in the wrong sense, where it's oh, they just want us to follow a bunch of rules and everything. No, one of the reasons, I personally believe, one of the reasons why the Bible says, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, is because God has provided such a sound list of morals that benefit you personally, that's oh man, if I follow God and his ways, the ways that help me be a better person, the ways that tell me how I could better treat my neighbor, how to better treat my wife, how to better treat my dog. You follow these things where it's yeah, man, when I feel the inclination to steal something because it's right there, I don't do it. That's a blessing to me. So it's more of that's one of the reasons why it's man, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, because people are happier having morals. Does that make more sense? Rather than having an angry God that will, mark you and punish you if you disobey it. It's more about, honestly, even the whole Bible is more about God wanting you to have a better life than what sin provides for you, because he knows we all struggle. God wants us to have a better life than what the world provides. And so he gave us a list of quote unquote rules, quote unquote, because he's man, if you follow like the whole thing of don't have babies before you're married. Well, a lot of people make it work, but there are a lot of steps that are difficult for people because it's not within the confines of what God orchestrated. Now he, has these rules because he understands our psychological aspects and our emotional aspects far better than we do. So he's hey, don't have babies out of marriage because this, and this. Trust me, I promise you, life will be easier if you follow it this way. He just knows how we react to things better than we know ourselves. And so, again, when you look at it, I've heard somebody say, don't look at the Bible as a rule book and a judgment kind of thing. Look at it as more of a love note of, hey, I have a way that I could make your life better. Trust me, I know I made you. And so here, follow this and your life will be better. It won't be, God even says it won't be easier per se. Life is full of trouble and turmoil. Jesus even said that, but it will be easier because you don't have to rely on your own thinking. And that sounds terrible too. But as far as you don't have to ponder the ways of what's right and what's moral, God's I've got you. I'll make life easier by providing that for you. And you're allowed to think on these. That's what the Bible says. Think on these things. God doesn't want you to just blindly follow him everywhere. There's one reason why he gave us free will. He's think on these things. A lot of people don't expand on that. God's just not hey, do this, and this. He literally says in the Bible several different times, think on these things. Consider your ways. and it's for your benefit, not for your burden. But this is another thing where we, as a society, we've just fallen to the lies that the devil's like, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take morality and everything out of that, and I'm going to paint Jesus as the evil person instead of as a good person. And now you can come at me with like the history of different religions within, under the guise of Christianity. And the long and short of it is, if whoever's doing whatever is not, and it doesn't line up with the Bible, they are not being a Christian. They are not following the teachings of Jesus. I don't care what church they belong to. I don't care what they say. If it doesn't, like, there was never oh, never mind. I'll get myself into a trouble. But like, again, if it doesn't line up with the Bible, then it's not, they're not. And when I say they're not being a Christian, like, there's a hard truth. It's actually very humbling. It changed my perspective very much so. Some of you may know who A.W. Tozer is. Some might not. He gets labeled as like a Bible theologian, but he wasn't really much for labels, I don't think. But he was an old preacher. I think he was from Canada. He was from the United States and moved to Canada to become a pastor or something like that. But he had this quote, this statement that all Christians are the children of God, but not all of God's children are Christians. And that might sound like an oxymoron, but it's not when you know what the definition of Christian is. And it's actually a slap in the face. It's actually quite a rebuke. I know it hit me hard. I had to think about that for a minute. And when you are a child of God, you are always a child of God. When you come to know Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, when you submit to the following of Jesus, you become a child of God. And nobody, the Bible says, nobody can pluck you out of the hand of God. Like, nobody can remove you from his family. It's done, dealed, as they say, once saved, always saved, signed, sealed, delivered. However, as a child of God, you have the responsibility to either act like a Christian or not. Because in the Bible, was it in Acts, where it says they were first called Christians in, wasn't Rome? Was it somewhere else? Christian is a title given to man by man. It is a way for other people to identify what your beliefs are. We've just now taken the word Christian to mean whatever the freak we want to in the name of Jesus. And that's not actually true. They will know that you are a follower of Christ, a Christian, because it was actually a derogatory term meaning little Jesus. Like, oh, those people are acting like Jesus. Ugh. Was not actually a compliment. But then we took it. And we're like, yeah, I'm a Christ follower. I'm a Christian. I am a CHRISTIAN. And so if you are a child of God, but you do not act like Christ, you are not a Christian, even though you are a child of God. And that is where the rebuke and the slap in the face comes from, where it's like, dear God, how in the world? I should be ashamed of myself if I am one of God's children and I don't even act like it. Like, people can't even tell I'm a Christian. That's a problem. Jesus said we're supposed to be separate from the world. We should be standing out from others. And that's not to say we need to beat everybody over the head with a morality book. That wasn't the Jesus teachings either. Jesus showcased so much patience, so much love towards people. He wasn't always beating people over the head with morality and whatnot. He's trying to teach people, follow me as I follow God. I am the Son of God, because this world is a horrible place and y'all need Jesus. So it's definitely a thing to reflect. It caused me to reflect when I was like, I know I'm a child of God. I know I'm a child of God. I've had that experience. I've had that one-on-one time with God. I know that there was that time and place in my life where everything changed. I'm not the person I used to be. But then it just made me think, am I acting like a Christian? I honestly, and this is my personal, like, if you call yourself a Christian, I will not harp on you because I understand. I personally have stopped calling myself a Christian. I will say that I'm either a child of God or I'm a follower of Christ. Because when I realized the weight of that title for myself, when I realized the weight of that title, I thought, I don't get to choose whether or not I'm acting like Christ as far as a title is concerned. Like, I'm going to let other people say that. If other people say that about me, I am humbled and grateful. But I just, after I had that revelation for myself, this is an individual thing. You want to call yourself a Christian because you identify with the teachings of Christ? Help yourself. I have nothing against that. It was just for me personally, it was like this weight of responsibility where it's like, I don't think I can say that about myself anymore. I'm going to let other people say that about me if I behave thusly. So, wow. Well, here we go. Act like the person you're talking with knows something that you do not. We have an instruction manual on how to live an extremely happy and satisfying life. Exactly. Problem there for a lot of Christians is they haven't read the Bible. So right. This is another thing where the devil has kept us from reading the Bible, so we don't know the answers. We just stamp a label on it. Popular Christianity is unbiblical. Biblical Christianity is unpopular. Always has been. Always preach. I say follower of Jesus. We're on the same mindset. It's all about a relationship with him. As it was in the beginning, we were made not to die, but through sinning, death came on us in creation. Christ came to save us from our sins. Good morning, Retro Collective. I was not, oh my gosh, we have 217 viewers on Kick, and we're just talking about Jesus. Hallelujah. I hope everybody comes to know the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I love him. He changed my life completely. Nobody ever believes me when I tell them who past Tabitha once was, because of the person that I am now. And the only reason that I am now the way I am, and that nobody can believe the person I used to be, it's all because of Jesus. It was all Jesus. It's all Jesus. And it's been a great run. Has it been easy? Oh, of course not. Man, I've met some horrible people under the name of Christian, like many of us. But I can't hold Jesus accountable for the choices that other people make. That's not right. That's not fair. He's the bestest. He's the bestest. Let me see here. Man. You know what sucks about people having regular jobs and everything like that, just a little bit of a shift, is that I have 217 viewers over here on Kick for the first time for the first time in forever. Nobody's here that I can throw them at. I can't host them to anybody. Anyway, this is Tabitha doing Brush Hour. Just to recap, if anybody is not familiar with Escape the Backrooms, this would be me and my friends on an adventure. Let me get rid of my references here so you can see the bigger picture. I did try, like I said, drawing some water. This is eventually what this is going to kind of look like. It's very dark. It's kind of grim, but we love it, right? And my poor friends have perished away because they fell into the death of the water, the death on the Nile. But thank you for the follow over there. Appreciate you. We talk about all kinds of things here, so I hope you enjoy. I do realize that I have an appointment that I need to get to. It's always good to end on a high note, you know. If you don't know what we're talking about, I'm just going to show you a little clip that's going to be turning into a bigger clip, because there's more to this story than this 14-second clip. But just for those that are new over here on Kick, let me give you some context. Oh, wow.
I died.
Well,
guys, I died.
Well, there was a reason we were in the rowboat. Me.
The boat.
Well, boat.
How did you die?
Because she went in the water like a fool.
So yeah, there's more to that story, and it's going to come full to a nice full little video once I get this art piece finished over here. And then I'm going to do a compilation of it all. But yeah, that's kind of the story. And then Moss eventually fell off a wall to his doom, and Sevi and I just took to the high seas and was like, forget y'all. I hate it, man. I had so many viewers and I wanted to host it over to somebody, but it's not my fault. Everybody's got regular people jobs, and my job is I work whenever I want to, which is all the time. But Mow your boat. Yeah, we had a fun time trying to sing that too. I'm glad you mentioned that, Rizkit. I might try to throw that into the video as well. Well, we got a bit of coloring done, and we had a lot of fun. Thank you everybody who has hung out today on the stream. Thank you so much for your support as always. Thank you for helping me better understand the male mindset as we all seek to try to live in more unity. Risk It. I don't know if you were here earlier. Nomi said we are going to be golfing tonight. So if you're free, we're going to try to do another tournament, but this time I believe we're going to try to do teams. If we have the right amount of people, we are aiming for teams. So I hope you're available because that would be super fun. We'd love to have you back. All that. Thank you so much. I see you all saying it was fun. It was great. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that everybody has a great rest of their day. We will be back, God willing, tomorrow morning. And golfing. Excellent. All right. We'll get it together. We'll get a time going and all that kind of cool stuff. Thank you everybody on Kick for just hanging out and whatnot. Find my gaming channel tonight sometime. You can guys look at the pinned comment. Find me gaming over here on Kick and then over on the YouTube. Make sure Sevi knows the proper time. Yeah. You know, time zones, days rough. But until next time, everybody.
If I was watching this video, I would like it. I would like the video and I would probably subscribe because this is so thoroughly entertaining and also